So I have.
Oh, not that one. No.
I have two strange experiences in my life. One was like 10 years ago. I was not working on what I'm working lately. And I'm a very bad swimmer. I was swimming. It was very hard. And suddenly, I felt like I was another person, but a better me. And suddenly, I was friend with the water. I was synchronized everything, and it surprised me a lot. So it lasted like 5 seconds, and suddenly I started to drown again. And
sometimes connection doesn't last that long.
And I forgot that experience, and lately, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I'm starting to learn the piano, and I was struggling with something, and suddenly I had the same feeling. I was a better me playing the piano. I was playing very good. I was like, like watching the experience. So I had the feeling we are all the versions of ourselves at the same moment, in the same place, and we can switch. I would like to know, how can I switch to the better me?
Instead of using the word better me, we like the word fuller me, more of me. I'm pinching off less of me, and I'm allowing more of me. So when you were drowning, did you really think that you were floundering in the water?
Well, that's
you exaggerated that.
Yes.
It was 10 years ago, so you may not be able to remember it, or maybe you can be the fuller you right now and you will remember. That could happen right now. So put yourself back there in that water and try to describe to us what was happening, what led up to it, how are you feeling, what were you doing, why were you in the water if you know you can't swim? Why were you in the water if you know you can't swim?
I was learning to swim. I was having a lesson.
Oh, you're having a lesson. So there was someone else in the water that gave you some trust.
There was a lot of people around. It was in a pool, public pool.
So there was no danger.
I'm not scared of the water.
You're not?
I'm a bad swimmer, but I'm not scared of the water.
That's a dangerous combination right there. Can you recall any of it, what it was about? In other words, all you took away from that was that suddenly, for some reason, because maybe the water was what you were focused upon, we'll tell you what happened, and then you see if you can tell us why it happened. You see if you can tell us what you think might have been the reason that this thing that happened. This is the thing that happened, and then you tell us why you think this thing that happened. What do you think caused you, for a moment in time, to release resistance? Because anytime you release resistance, you become that fuller you. Anytime you keep the same residual of resistance going, then you may seem more like the reluctant you that you think that you might sometimes be. Can you put it together in any way?
I don't know. The only feeling I've got...
Sometimes when people run, they say they get in the zone. They catch their second wind. In other words, by focusing upon what they're doing, they distract themselves from the things that have been bothering them about life. So it's possible that being in that water with others who are also learning to swim, that you got caught up in the vibrational current of expectation to swim, and for just a moment you illogically thought you could.
That wasn't me in the pool. There was another me. The feeling was very strange. I was another me, a me who knows how to swim.
But the thing that we want you to understand is that we are really appreciating this conversation because it goes to the heart of the most important thing that we're wanting to impart to all of you in a way that you can really receive it and own it in these days that we are together. And that is, you are always more than you know that you are. There is a non-physical part of you who is with you and focused with you. You see, this is a thing that so many humans don't get yet. That source energy you is aware of you and focused with you in every moment of your experience, and has intentionality and expectation and knowing about who you are. And to the degree that you don't block it, you are that person. So the only thing that this question is asking, it's not asking, why did I turn into that other me? You do it all the time. The question is, how can I release my resistance more of the time so that more of who I really am can be present in any moment in time? Can you hear the distinction? We would stop saying it was another me. We would say it was the me that is always there that I've got the mute button on. It was a me that is always there that sometimes I don't allow through because I'm focused upon the reality of life. But here I am in this buoyant water with others that are having a good time. I'm there for the purpose of learning to swim. I have an active desire within me. I want to swim. I want to swim so much that I was actually taking a swimming lesson. I'd actually gone to a place. This is how focused my desire was. I'd actually gone to a place where I was going to learn to swim. And so you've set forth an intention. Your inner being is all over it, and in a flash here and a flash there where you weren't blocking it, you could do, because remember what we said at the beginning of this gathering, it's present tense. What you're asking for is present tense. So for a moment you let it be present tense, and then you make up some story about how it was another me. No, it wasn't another you. It's just the you that would always be there if you wouldn't block the you that is really you. And then tell us again, what was the other thing, the other weird thing that was normal?
It was with the piano, but it lasted longer because I was enjoying. The first time I was really surprised, and I started to sing, and the feeling went. But with the piano, I let it go through, and it lasted like 30, 40 seconds, I don't know. And I was enjoying, like watching a movie. It was very surprising, but I had a lot of joy. I was not trying to analyze it.
And so can you hear that what that means is, do you think when you were there at the piano that day, was that the very first moment in time where you ever desired to play the piano?
No, I've started to learn piano like 1 year and a half ago.
So you'd been wanting to do it. And any thoughts about it before then? Can you acknowledge that there was some sort of momentum in that desire? Not a desire that was just hatched, but it's a desire that has some momentum already going?
Yes.
So you had asked and it has been given, but most people who ask and it has been given don't let it in. So what do you think was happening in that moment in time when you let it flow? Can you attribute your extra openness to anything that was happening in that moment? Was somebody sitting at the piano with you?
No.
Was anyone else in the room listening to you? So there was
No.
no self-consciousness. It was just you and you. You weren't performing for anyone, so you weren't embarrassed. And how good was this? Was this virtuoso kind of stuff, or was it just way better than what you usually do?
It was way better than what I usually do.
So not outside the realm of your beliefs.
No, it's on the path of what I want to achieve. I could do better.
You're a lot of trouble. But the question that we ask, the question that we really want you to focus in on, is that it was something that you wanted, that for whatever reason in that moment in time, you weren't blocking it. You let it be until you came to your senses and remembered how badly you usually play.
But something remained. I mean, since that day, my playing is better. It's not that better. The moment it occurred, it was really good. But now it's better than before.
We are certain that you are having a lot of experiences, because we can feel the lightness of your being, where the intentions that you have set into your vortex are being focused upon by your inner being. We know for sure you're having many other moments of enlightenment, moments of clarity. In other words, you could just as easily say, hey, Abraham, usually I'm pretty confused, but I've been more lucid than usual in lots of ways. Or usually I'm bored, but I've been more fascinated. And all kinds of things are happening to you as you're finding your connection more and more.
Yes, my life completely changed.
The question that we want to put back to you is, why is that the surprise? Why is it always, I had this weird moment when I could swim. I had this weird moment when I could play. I had this weird moment when I was clear. Why not, oh, I stepped into my normal talent and desire?
Yes, yes.
There are so many things. You are, all of you, so much more often in the receptive mode than you know. And that's why you get those glimpses of greatness or enlightenment. We would like to bring consistency to you in your lives about that by asking you to, when it happens, isolate it, focus on it, and ask yourself, what was I feeling when that happened? And over again, you will discover the pattern of less resistance that is evidenced by a feeling of greater satisfaction. You were having fun when you sat there. No one was making you do it. It wasn't some sort of drudgery. Esther took 10 years of piano lessons and did 100% of her practicing at the lesson, because it was someone else's idea that she be there. So she would sit down, put the dollar on the piano, because that's what the lesson cost. It was in the ancient days. And the piano teacher, who liked her very much, and the piano teacher who Esther liked very much, would spend a lovely half hour practicing the piano together. And so today, Esther can sort of kind of play pretty well. She can read music and that sort of thing, but she was not satisfying any deep desire in herself. She was just fulfilling what somebody else thought that she should be doing, and it's a whole different thing. And so her better self never came to the party. Enough? Really good. Really good.